All right. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah. So we're moving on today to question 10. Okay. So question 10 are two parts. You have part A, which is saying a soccer match kicked off at 14 hours at A. So you have that location of 20 degrees north, 30 degrees east. Okay. What would be the kickoff time of the soccer match at B, which is located at 20 degrees north, 15 degrees west? Okay. All right. So those are the two locations. Okay. And then this match has kicked off at 14 hours at A. Okay. So they want you to tell them what time it will kick off at location B, which is 20 degrees north, 15 degrees west. Okay. So when we're dealing with time, we focus on the longitude. Okay. Yeah. So first step here is to find the difference in longitude. Okay. So you have point A, which is at 30 degrees east. Okay. And then point B, which is at 15 degrees west. Okay. So these two are on the different sides of these great circles. Okay. East is this side, west is this side. Okay. So the difference in longitude, you add them. Okay, because one is west, one, if they are both east or both west, you should subtract them, but since they are on the opposite sides, you add them to find the difference in longitude. So this will give you 45 degrees. Okay, then you know that 1 hour is equal to 15 degrees. Okay, so 45 degrees should be equal to how many hours? X. Okay, so you do your conversion there. 15 by x is 15x. 1 by 45 is 45. So you divide by 45 by 15 this side, you divide by 15 the other side. So this goes, you remain with x. And 15 into 45 is 3. Okay, so this difference in longitude of 45 degrees represents 3 hours. Okay, that's the first step. The second thing is, you know that the earth rotates from west to east, right? So if it is a day here, okay, then here it's night. Okay, so in other words, places that are on the east are ahead in terms of time. Okay, so A is on the east. Okay, B is on the west. Okay, so if at A is 14 hours and this is east, then you know B, which is at west, should be 3 hours less. Okay, so the time at location B is 11 hours. Okay, so we'll move on to part B. Part B says two towns P and Q are on the same longitude. Given that P is 40 degrees north, 15 degrees west, and PQ is 7,200 nautical miles, find the position of Q. Alright. Okay, so what thought you that? Okay, so when we do a rough sketch, okay, of the earth, it will, okay, it will look something like this. Okay, ish. Okay, okay, this is the equator. So north and south. So point P is located on 40 degrees north, okay, and 15 degrees west. Okay, so this is the 15 degrees west, so it should be somewhere here. Okay, and then you thought that the other point Q is also on the same longitude, so we know it is somewhere along this line. Okay, It's somewhere along that line. And then the distance between P and that point Q is 7,200. So when you move along this line, okay, that the distance where you find the other one is about 2,700 nautical miles from point P. Okay, so what is the distance, sorry, what is the location of that point? So this is a distance along the circle of longitude. Okay, so it will be the angles are being made at the center of the earth. Okay, so which makes this the radius of the earth. Okay, because this is a distance along the arc. Okay, so you know the formula for finding the distance. Okay, the distance, the length of an arc, okay, PQ in this instant will be the angle over 360 times 2 pi radius of the earth. Okay, because it's subtending angles at the center of the earth. Okay, so PQ we're given in nautical miles to be 7,200. Okay, that angle is what we're looking for. Then over 360 by 2 pi r in nautical miles is approximately 21,600. Okay, the whole thing here. All right, so okay, we can say 2,000, then this by that is 21,600 theta over 360. Okay, then over 1 we do cross multiplication, so that is 7,200 by 360. Okay, is equal to 21,600 theta. Okay, so we divide 21,600, we divide 21,600, so this goes, so the angle there will be, so that 0 goes with that 0, that 0 goes with that 0, so 36 into 36 is 1, 36 into 216 is 6. Okay, so you have 720 over 6. Okay, so 6 into 7 is 1, then remainder 1, 6 into 12 is 2, 6 into 0 is 0. So that angle is 120. Okay, so that angle will be the whole angle that is being made at the center of the earth. Okay, so what we know is we already have 40 degrees north. Okay, so 40 degrees minus 120 gives us negative 80 degrees. Okay, it's negative because it's in the opposite direction to the other point P, which is 40 degrees north. So that means point Q is 80 degrees south and 15 degrees west. That's all. Question 11 says a die and a coin are rolled and tossed respectively. What is the probability of getting a 5 and a tail? Okay, so you have a die. Okay, the die, or as we call it locally, a dicey. Okay, so a dicey has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on it, like a box thing. Yeah, and then we have a coin. A coin only has a head and a tail. Okay. Yeah, so what's the probability of getting a 5 and a tail? Okay, so it's probability of getting a 5 by probability of getting a t. And means you multiply, right? So probability of getting a 5, remember the probability of any event is a number of possible outcomes over total number of outcomes. Okay, so when you ask the probability of getting a 5 on a dicey, is the number of outcomes, so the number of how many 5s are on a die. Okay, you find that's 1, right? Yes, over the total number of outcomes. So the total number is, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers there, so 1 over 6. Okay, then by the probability of getting a tail, how many tails are on a coin? That's the number of possible outcomes, is 1. Then the total, they are just 2 outcomes. Okay, so 1 over 2. Okay, so there you have it. So 1 by 1 is 1, 6 by 2 is 12. So that's the probability of getting a 5 and a tail when you roll a die and a coin. Okay. All right, so move on to part B. Part B says given that x is equal to 3.2 by 3 to the power 4 and y is equal to 4 by 3 to the power 2. Okay, evaluate x over y. So evaluate x over y. So you just replace x, we know it is given as 3.2 by 3 to the power 4, then over y, which is 4 by 3 to the power 2. Okay, so you know that we can deal with this side, okay, which is 3.2 over 4, so you can write it 3 to the power 4 over 3 to the power 2. So here, you know, the when you're indices, okay, when you're dividing numbers with the same base, when you're dividing numbers with the same base, you subtract the powers. Okay, so base 3 is the same as base 3, so we subtracted 2 powers. Okay, then this side we have 4 into 32, sorry, 3.2. okay, we know 4 into 3 is 0, then I have a point, so it becomes 32. 4 into 32 is 8. Okay, so we have 0.8 by 3 to the power 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. Okay, so this is 0.8 by 9. Okay, so 0.8 is the same as 8 over 10. Okay, then by 9. Okay, so 8 by 9 is 72, then over 10 into 72 is 7.2. okay, so that's